Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a late night edition of Talking Packers with Steve. We're here talking about the NFC and AFC championship games. We have the Minnesota Vikings facing off against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. And on the AFC side, we have Saxonville, or hashtag Saxonville, the Jacksonville Jaguars facing off against the New England Patriots, the mighty Patriots in Foxborough, of course, because, that's how things are now. It have been for feels like 20 years, but more like 10, 8. They're with the Patriot Dynasty, which, hey, I respect them. I don't mean to say that sound sarcastically or negatively. I sure future go for Jerry Thomas, Jamie, is a fan of the Patriots, and hopefully, but I'll be cheering for the Jaguars. My prediction is the Jaguars over the Patriots, 35-31. Nope, 35-34. Jaguars 1-point win. And I have the Vikings over the Eagles, 27-17. 10-point win. So the Vikings winning by 10, Jaguars winning by 1. I have the Vikings versus the Jaguars, the Super Bowl. And as I do here at my humble abode, mi casa, my home, I do put the helmet up on above our fireplace on the mantle there. Nothing too fancy, but mantle we do have there. Anyways, where I have the weekly Packer matchups, which I think I have a picture of that on Instagram or my Facebook. I have somewhere with the Packer matchup. I have taken a picture of it for me and my best buddy Tyler. Went to a Packer game years ago, Packer Lion game. I won a contest. The last 4 years, me going to Packer game, contest winning. So it's been a while since I actually paid for a ticket. In that sense, I've been able to. But anyways, I'll hopefully have the Viking helmet up there and the Jaguar helmet up there for the Super Bowl. The Atlanta Falcons were eliminated last week by the Philadelphia Eagles, so there will be a new NFC champion. And I say that in my WWE announcer voice. New NFC champion will be crowned, either the Minnesota Vikings or the much maligned, disrespected Philadelphia Eagles that most Dolphins thought the Falcons were going to rush into the ground. And that obviously did not happen, fortunately, thank goodness. I'm one of those that want to have a different, not just a different team than the Patriots or Steelers or Saints or Falcons with their, great quarterbacks, but a different quarterback winning the NFL championship, winning the Super Bowl, not winning the MVP, not Blake Bortles, Case Keenum, or even over there in Philadelphia, Nick Foles. I almost forgot his name. Nick Foles, Case Keenum, or Blake Bortles are going to be Super Bowl MVPs. Then again, you never know, depending on how they play in the Super Bowl, depending on which ones they'll be playing. Though we will get either Case Keenum or Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. One of those two well-played, awesome guys. I respect them, but still thinking, in general, as an NFL fan, it would be interesting, weird, and you know how I am for those that know me well and those that have watched these podcasts or otherwise here on this channel, Sports Talk Network, where you can follow the show at Talking_Packers. Again, that's Talking_Packers on Twitter. That I'm a visual kind of person. That's why I do the helmets for the Packers each week for myself and my grandmother. That knows with me. Who soon will be turning 99 years old. And for him to see the matchups for each week for the Packers during the season, and I didn't do for the Super Bowl. If the Packers are in the playoffs, obviously I continue with the Packer matchups in the playoffs. But if the Packers aren't in the playoffs like this year, which hasn't been done in 8 years, so I wasn't used to doing that, I don't have helmets up there on the mantle until the Super Bowl. I always have the Super Bowl matchup on there, whether the Packers are there or not. Obviously, it's been years since the Packers were last played in the Super Bowl, which we did win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brett Favre won Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers won Super Bowl. Still say Aaron is good, but I say Brett Favre is the GOAT, the best of Packers lore. And again, I could be nice with my generational thinking, but hey, it's just Talking Packers with Steve. I talk about all 32. I talk about the NFL as a Packer fan, from my perspective. I'll give you that twist. Just a fate there in that sense. But the point is, visually, you'll either see Case Keenum or Nick Foles with their with their uniforms on, their team logo helmets, and all that awesome stuff visually with the Super Bowl logo on their uniform. Like one of them will. Not both, obviously, but one of them will. Someone has to win that game. Not just because I said so, but the NFL rulebook says so. Can't be a tie. They'll go into other overtimes. It'll be like a college basketball game. Go into as many overtimes until someone wins. If that has to be, that would be the first time in NFL history. If there's a game that goes into like 2 overtimes or 3 overtimes or just simply 2 overtimes, I think would be. I don't think that's ever happened before in NFL playoff history, let alone if that happened in the Super Bowl history. But either way, the Vikings are going to win or the Eagles are going to win. I know that's obvious, but just for people that aren't fans of those teams or that are like me, and as a Packer fan, go Packer, go Pack Go, I always root for if there's an NFC North team in playoffs or still in it, hope they get to the Super Bowl and win it. So honestly, I am cheering for the Minnesota Vikings and we need to win it all. But then again, I'm also cheering for the Jaguars. Like if the Vikings and the Jaguars face off in the Super Bowl, my head is going to be picking for the Jaguars because the first time they're ever in the Super Bowl, might as well win it the first time because you never know when you're back. Again, I'm not saying they're a bad team, they're going to be a terrible team next year, but still, any team, that 1 year magic, and then next year, even with the same roster, things are messed up because there's always turnover in the NFL. Free agency, retirements, otherwise. So, for all 4 of these teams, even yes, the Patriots, though they are here almost every single year for the AFC title game, for the Super Bowl, there. So we're going to have a new NFC champion. Either the Vikings or the Eagles. The Falcons have been eliminated. They're the former champions of the NFC. Now we'll have a new one. Either we're going to have Case Keenum wearing a Super Bowl logo jersey or Nick Foles with the Super Bowl logo jersey. One of them will be in the Super Bowl representing the NFC. If the Eagles defeat the Minnesota Vikings, which I won't be too upset about, like these final 4 teams, yes, I have my favorites. Yes, I will be cheering for the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, I'll be cheering for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But if it's the Eagles Patriots in the Super Bowl, I'm not going to be miffed or sad or stressed or anything about that. It'll be good. I'm happy with these 4 teams. Either the Patriots are going to continue the dynasty, Tom Brady's going to get another Super Bowl ring, and that awesomeness. And I do have a friend that is a fan of the New England Patriots, Joe Cronin, the Joe Cronin Show. Follow him at Real Joe Cronin. So that's it for the Patriots. Jacksonville Jaguars, like I was just saying, if they get to the Super Bowl, that's your first time there, make it count. You awesome SOBs over there. The 2017 edition of the Legion of Boom, but even better. And yes, I said that, even better. And if the Seahawks fans out there, tweet at NorthCam, let them know Stevie K said that. But hey, Jaguars, first time you get the Super Bowl, might as well win that stuff. Just like Jalen Ramsey said. I like his bravado. I like his confidence. And for those that know me, you would think that I would actually think the opposite way, because I talk about sometimes Aaron Rodgers' ego and I don't like it, but I deal with it because he's on our team, and he uses that for his fuel for comebacks and just kicking teams' butts in games and this and that. All quarterbacks have it. All teams have it. There's a player in there, maybe that goes too far. Point being is, usually I'd be against that. Usually I don't like that. And since it's from a Jaguar team, not from my Packers, where I don't have to put up with it or have to like it, and in my mind turn it into, okay, it's a positive, he'll use it if the Packers are down or come back and this and that. His ego and that bravado he has that Aaron Rodgers does, more so than Brett ever did. Then he impressed a better player, so Aaron needs it more. Anyway, for the Jaguars, Jalen Ramsey, that was just beautiful. He said they're never banking their celebration heading to the AFC Championship game. Kind of a send-off in Jacksonville. And I kind of wish I'd be able to attend the Super Bowl if there's a millionaire or some kind soul out there, male or female, that like to help his fan, podcast host, YouTuber. Otherwise, I mean, heck, I got the bad news about the whole YouTube program thing about how I need to get to 1K subscribers. But either way, the others canceled it. Trying to get me to the Super Bowl here because the Super Bowl is in the Midwest. It's going to be in Minnesota. I live, obviously, in Wisconsin. All I need is the tickets. I'm not asking for extra stuff. I'm not asking for box seats. I'm not asking for parking passes or the parties or this and that, or even being on Radio Row. Talking Packers even being represented in that way. All I'm asking is for 2 tickets to the game, to the event. But I just want to throw that Hail Mary, that Minneapolis miracle of my own here on the show, live for whoever wants it. Whether 6 people are watching this in the end, or 2,153 people are watching this in the end. Just wanted to throw that out. So that's the Jaguars. So that's the AFC side. The Vikings. Like I just said, the Super Bowl is in Minnesota. It'll be the first team in NFL history to win a Super Bowl in your home stadium, and it being an NFC North team. Yes, a hated rival, a big rival, the Green Bay Packers. My Green Bay Packers are my team that I cheer for. Green Bay Packers as a shareholder. I guess I could say my Packers is 1/1,000,000th or 1/1,000th of an owner. Small percentage, 0.23%, 0.2%. I don't know, whatever that is, breaks down to with all the shareholders, and technically we all are owners of the team. We don't have that figurehead like the rest of the league with owners. True, people as owners of the team. But hey, we are unique in that way. Point being is, as much as we do have rivalry, we have rivalry with all the teams, the Detroit Lions, Bears, Vikings. I would say the Bears rivalry is the biggest to me personally as a fan, than even Minnesota, but all of them are historic, great rivalries. But I'm not going to be like a sheep and be like most of the Packer fans that would really want and hate Minnesota to win the Super Bowl and them to have that glory of first team winning Super Bowl in their hometown, or in their hometown, in their home stadium, instead of the Super Bowl. As much as I would love to have a Super Bowl at Lambeau Field, unless we turn into a dome, that's not going to be happening. I hope for it and pray for it, cross my fingers for it, this and that for it, but the likelihood of a Super Bowl being at Lambeau Field, pretty low. But also, though, I want to give a shout out to Team White TV Live, Big U Glass, JB over there. They had their show, so we'll go over there, Team Boy TV Live. So that's for the Vikings. Be that first team. Why not? If it's not the Packers, be the NFC North team here in the Midwest, having a Super Bowl for the first time in a while. Because Detroit did host their own Super Bowl when the Steelers won. And that's Super Bowl that year. But this time in Minneapolis, Minnesota, U.S. Bank Stadium. Go Vikings. Then the Philadelphia Eagles. Last time they won the Super Bowl, we're facing the Patriots, the mighty Patriots, the beginning of the dynasty, or at least the early stages of it. And Donovan Lamb losing there, which I wasn't too upset about. I don't know. I don't hate people, but maybe strongly dislike them. Either way, the Eagles, them winning the Super Bowl with Nick Foles, and technically also the rookie sensation Carson Wentz getting a ring, because he's the one that brought the team, or had the great season to set the Eagles up to be number 1 seed and then to hopefully win the Super Bowl here. So for all 4 teams, I want mine. Now, as you saw as I'm going through them, the Eagles, I had the hardest one to struggle to, giving my reasons of how I'd be happy for them to win the Super Bowl. Also, my good friend, Heel Chrome, on Twitter at Heel Chrome, big fan of the Eagles. Follow him on Twitter. Follow Lazy Booking Podcast as well. Lazy Booking going ATD Radio, and you can do atdradio.com on Twitter. Also, Lazy Booking ATD on Twitter again is at Lazy Booking A2, the number 2, and D. There as well. So shout out to Lazy Booking. Shout out to Chrome. Shout out to Team Boy TV Live. And shout out to everybody else that will be watching as well. Welcome to smash the like button, support me. And if you have friends that want to help me out, I'm trying to get, as I was watching a video on YouTube talking about the monetization situation with YouTube changing their rules for everything, and it seems like they're cutting legs under the small YouTube content creators. They're trying to become something like me and others, not just me, obviously, but many others. They follow the rules, they try to do well, they adhere to guidelines because they want their channels to still exist. They want their channels to do something, grow. and be something for themselves. And for me, it's actually less of making money, but more of getting the help to grow, to have a bigger audience, have more of the audience to then interact with. I'm not saying money isn't bad. Unfortunately, money does make the world go round. You don't want to do, and then you need that money. So, not saying that's not important at all, because it always is. But for me, it's wanting to be into broadcasting, talking sports, whether it's WWE Pro Wrestling or here with the NFL. I'm passionate about it, and I enjoyed being part of the YouTube partnership, even though when I tried to reach out to them, no one responds. But getting the guidance, interacting, and working with other YouTubers that are part of that program within the same specific company there. But either way, however the NFC AFC Championship games go on Sunday, I'm going to enjoy them. Whoever wins, wins. They've earned it, obviously, however the games go. But I'm obviously going to be cheering for the Vikings. So shout out to Nas fan. Sports Gaming Universe. And I'll be cheering for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Shout out to the Jaguar franchise. Shout out to Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey as well. As well, so I'm hoping for the Vikings Jaguar matchup if that does happen. But if it's Vikings Patriots, Vikings Jaguars, Eagles Jaguars, Eagles Patriots, whatever it be of those combinations, and those are the only ones it could be, obviously. I'm fine and good for the Super Bowl, so that's a good thing. I'm heading into these games not being all, if this one team gets the Super Bowl or something gloom and doom because you don't like that team. Though I would say most of the other NFL franchise fans, all the other 31s would want Jacksonville to beat New England. That reasoning, but for me, I like to see reactions on Twitter. Just see the reactions there of New England in the Super Bowl. And they always talk about the last team that won back-to-back, because now there's a new one that won back-to-back. Well, for the Patriots, if they win back-to-back now, the team that did it last time was their dang selves in the beginning of their dynasty run and start. They started something new back then, now old, but it's still awesome because Tom Brady's the GOAT, Bill Belichick's the GOAT. As a quarterback and head coach and as a tandem as a team. And yes, even more so than what it was in San Francisco in the 80s. Yes, I said it. But anyways, hopefully I'll be tweeting this out on my NFL podcast channel. Hopefully, Twitter there. Hopefully, we'll do check this out. Thank you, and give my thoughts on. I'd be happy with these four winning the Super Bowl, let alone with each of the four making it to and being the Super Bowl. I mean, just think of the media day. If it was Vikings Jaguars. One side you have history being made with the Vikings being the first team ever playing in a Super Bowl in their home stadium, in the Minnesota Vikings, with the chance of winning, making that history. First you make the history of being the first team to play in a Super Bowl in your home stadium. And that being the location for the Super Bowl that year. And then you have a chance to make history again on April Sunday to be the first team, the first franchise to win a Super Bowl in their home stadium. And the Jaguars or Patriots truly being in a road team. Unless the NFL just wants to swerve us or be funny and have the Vikings wear their away jerseys. Just trying to make the Patriots or Jaguars feel more of trying to make it as much as they can, possibly try to make it as neutral of a stadium as they can be. Just think about it that way, right? Because the stadium and the field, and again, I'm a visual kind of person, so I care about this more than others, but I always like when they unveil, whether it's a reporter that gets to do it, or somebody that's in the stadium, or press members and otherwise, or one of the team representatives, or somebody, I don't know, office employee, whoever it is in the NFL or whoever it be at the stadium after it's all made it look pretty. See how the field looks, and I can just do this. And actually, I'm having my eyes closed right now as I'm thinking about it. You have the field, U.S. Bank. Then you have on one side in the end zone. Let's just say it's the Vikings Jaguars. So you have the Vikings, because I'm trying to think how you're trying to make it as neutral as you can. You have the Vikings end zone there, purple Viking name logo. Then start heading back to the other side of the field. I think it's a 30-yard line. NFL Shield logo. 50-yard line is the Super Bowl logo. The other 30-yard line, I think 30 or 20. I think it's the 30. Super Bowl logo. NFL Shield logo. NFL logo. And then you have the Jaguar name and their logo there. Then on one side there on the sidelines, you have a Viking logo where they're with the bench, and the other side of the Jaguar logo with their bench and everything, how that would look aesthetically around the stadium all around, trying to make it as neutral as possible. Vikings and Jaguars, even though they are playing the USA Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So, just visually, that'd be kind of interesting to see in that sense. But my predictions: I'm cheering for and hoping for the Vikings, cheering and hoping for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if we do have a Vikings Jaguars matchup, obviously I'm talking about that, acknowledging them next week. We have some great guests for predicting and previewing the Super Bowl. Actually, that would be in 2 weeks, because next week I'm previewing and predicting the Pro Bowl, and then the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl is 2 weeks away from this Sunday. Sunday. Which works for me, because in the middle, not only the Pro Bowl, WWE Royal Rumble pay-per-view is big thing next week, being WWE week here on this channel, pretty much, the videos, and you'll find out why for sure when I create all those Google Hangouts on Sunday night. But if it is Vikings Jaguars, I'll say it right now. My head should be saying, go with your NFC North team, go with the team of the NFC, because the Packers, the team that you cheer for, Steven. I'm just talking to myself. Your team that you cheer for, Steve. The Packers, so go with the NFC team, and why not even more so the NFC North team? If it is the Vikings, if it's the Eagles, then you're still cheering for the NFC team. And going that way. But if it is the Vikings Jaguars, my head will say Vikings, or actually more so the heart would say Vikings, and the head would say Jaguars, because how you really do enjoy the Jaguar defense, and how it reminds you a lot of what was the Legion of Boom in Seattle. So now it's time for the game time for Jacksonville to win the Super Bowl, and that would be glorious in its own right if the Jaguars win. I'd be so happy for that franchise. I had to see my dad. Was in his apartment, and we were watching the Jaguars Steelers game together, and he even said, because I was talking about how and how he even said, because we do a battle for predicting games on you pick them for WSAW, local TV station. You pick them thing where you pick the games, and not by confidence, but just pick them. Straight up pick them games, and set up there. And I picked the Jaguars, and he noticed that because you can compare after the game starts and this and that. Point being is, so we're watching the game together at his place, and he said, I made a bold move picking the Jaguars over the Steelers because he picked in our battle there. And he said, and I said, yeah, I just have a affinity for them. And now I talked about on my podcast here that my whole prediction last year to make the playoffs. And he goes, well, I think that's been from when the Jaguars started, from when I was younger. Yeah, affinity for the Jaguars, special place in my heart for them, even though, obviously being a Packer fan. I said, kind of funnily, and it might have been true then. I don't know what my brain was thinking when I was a kid or whenever the Jaguars started to exist. Were established, became something, became a franchise, became a team. But I said, maybe when I was younger, I just liked their logo, and the visual person that I am. I still do. I like some of the designs of the new helmet or what was new stuff with the Jaguars helmet. Beyond that, the last couple of years really been more so into them and their team and players that they into this free agency and the NFL draft with Ramsey and free agency with Calais Campbell from Arizona. This past offseason, this and that, and otherwise. So, I don't know. Part of me really wants Jerry Jackson to win this all, but if they lose on Sunday, if New England wins and New England goes on to win the Super Bowl, then fine with me either. The Eagles win on Sunday, we want to win the Super Bowl, good for me. The Vikings do the same, good for me, good for them, and their fan bases. So, yeah. I'll be happy either way, but definitely will be wanting our Vikings Jaguars matchup. But we'll see. Let me know what your thoughts are, my thoughts, and also if you have your predictions for the Super Bowl, who you think will represent, in your opinion. I'd like to hear it all. Or you can tweet me at Talking_Packers and let me know there as well. Hope you all have a great rest of your evening. A great rest of your day if you're watching this tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow on Thursday evening for Steve's Wrestling Ramble. And we'll go from there. Above all else, as always, take care.